What we're hoping to do is over the next year we're hoping to encourage people to do a bit of modelling. Nice small area, it's not going to take up too much space, it's not going to cost a lot of money, and let's be honest, you can let your imagination run riot.
And now that really appeals to me. So why did I like the BRM Cakebox challenge? Well, it's because Phil used the word imaginative twice, and that got my creative juices flowing. He tickled my fancy, so to speak. Now, this is a cake box, and the brief is to build something in an 8-inch square by 6-inch high space. Now I wanted to do something imaginative, so the first thing I thought was, I'm not going to build it like that, I'm going to build it like that. An 8-inch by 6-inch footprint, 8 inches high. So that's my first imaginative use of the space. What I want to share with you now is what I'm going to do with it inside. So there's my 8-inch square cake base, and now what I've added, you'll notice, is a mirror. Now these mirrors I got from the pound shop, there's 2 in here. You could add one onto your cake base and extend the length of your model, but what I'm going to do is be a bit more imaginative, and I've thought of these ideas independently, I'm sure other people have thought of them too, but I'm going to put one mirror in there and another £1 mirror from the pound shop in there. Now what that does, can you see, that doesn't just double the length of this box, it makes it go on for infinity in a sort of curve, because, well, it depends how I flex the cardboard. So that has now visually increased my space a phenomenal amount. So hopefully that's 2 imaginative ideas. Another thing I'm going to do is put power into this, so I'm going to actually electrify the track and put some lights in, but really that's probably a small thing really. But the idea is to get that track looking as though it goes on for a very long way, and it sort of kinks slightly. It really does give a wonderful effect. Now I'm going to raise this track on stilts, and this is the 4th imaginative element of my concept. It's going to be science fiction. So I'm going to have a science fiction model railway diorama. So there you go, Phil and the rest of the team. I hope you think that's imaginative enough. Some of you know already that I've got a science fiction model railway, so my locomotives will do nicely for this diorama. That's one of them, the very first science fiction thing I ever made. So first thing I'm going to do is spray all of these items with some black spray paint. Here I am spraying the items in the garden. Wear a mask, wear a glove, keep safe. So there are the finished items that have been sprayed, and they look really nice and detailed. So now what I'm doing is a little bit of soldering, and I'm putting in some flashing LEDs. So now I've got my massive parts, my electronics, everything ready now to put into the space. Now I literally thought it would be a great idea to use an actual cake stand and an actual cake box as my basis for the model. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to glue in the various elements, and yeah, literally use cake stuff wherever I can. See, even looks like icing, doesn't it? So there, I've put the track in, the wires go through to the rear of the cake box, and then I put a PP3 connector on there, and that will give me a powered track. So this is the model so far. I've put the track in, I've glued it to a piece of card, and it's got some balsa wood struts supporting it and holding it up. I've got a bit more track in the foreground, some wheels. This is a battery display container which is going to flash these LEDs, and I've put in some background details already. Now it needs more to go in, and then in goes the Sci-Fi wagon. That's my first train item. My second train item, I think I'm going to use Thunder Chief. So here is my finished article for the BRM Cakebox challenge. It's an 8 by 8 by 6 inch diorama. This is Cato Sci-Fi tunnel. I have a science fiction layout called Cato Pass. So this is, if you like, a section of it, the tunnel that links all of the underground Cato caverns. So because I've got a mirror on one side and a mirror on the other side as well, that's one mirror, and here is the other mirror. Of course what that means is the mirrors go on for infinity because they reflect each other. You can see there perhaps 6 wagons, so it's at least 6 reflections of that wagon. If I remove the locomotive, you can actually see the track seems to go on forever, so it gives a really good effect and really does increase the space in my little cake box. So there is a switch here that allows me to power it up and give it some flashing LEDs, and I can also connect a battery and even power the locomotive. So it is actually a powered layout. Also I've made it so that these parts can rotate and move into different positions if I want them to. So let's see some of the stills.